Hello lovelies, I'm Christina and today I'm going to show you the books that I read in the month of December 2019. Now because I read these in December, it's quite a Christmas theme going through here, but there are some other books there as well. Let's jump into it. Now the first book I read in the month of December was The Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher. This is just such a funny story. It's about William, who is in a wheelchair, and the only thing he wants for Christmas is a dinosaur. And at the same time, Santa has found a dinosaur egg up at the North Pole that hatches into a dinosaur. Because he finds out that William has this wish for a dinosaur, he makes a stuffed animal that looks exactly like this dinosaur, but the Christmasaurus, he has trouble letting go of this dinosaur stuffed animal, and by accident ends up at William's place. So William gets a Christmasaurus for Christmas, and there's a whole lot of action and adventure that goes into this. I absolutely loved it. It made me laugh out loud. It was such a cute and heartfelt, wonderful story, and I can't wait to read the second book in this series. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is not Christmas themed at all. Don't think there was a single Christmas themed story in here. No, I don't think so. That is Full Throttle by Joe Hill. I got this signed edition from Waterstones, so beautiful signature right there if you can see it. I'm working with new light here, so this might take a little bit of time to get used to, and it might be a little bit weird in the beginning here, but we'll work through it. But I read this short story collection by Joe Hill, and I'm just gonna mention something. Why do they do this? I don't want like a Netflix badge thing here that I can't remove. It's just annoying. And I see I haven't removed that one either, but enough about that. So it says, a masterful collection of 13 relentless tales of supernatural suspense, including In the Tall Grass, one of 2 stories co-written with Stephen King, the basis for the terrifying feature film from Netflix, which I haven't seen yet, but I have to. This was a really solid, good short story collection. I'm thinking about maybe doing a separate review of it, going through each and every story. I've done that a couple of times before, and you seem to really like it, but I haven't really decided yet. But like I said, good, solid collection of short stories. Not every story stuck with me afterwards, but there was not a single one that left me feeling bored or having that what the hell did I just read kind of feeling, and not in the good way. But I really enjoyed this, and I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Next up is also by Joe Hill, and that is Locke Key Volume 2, Head Games. Now, I started reading the first Locke Key comic book, I think it was in October or November last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. They are quite pricey, that's why I kind of waited before I went and got the second volume, but in December I did get to this one, and I have to say I loved it just as much as the first one. This is also coming as a Netflix series in the beginning of February as well, so I'm really excited about that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it while I'm reading it, or if I'm going to continue on with the series and read it all the way out before I start watching the series on Netflix. I haven't really decided yet. But absolutely loving this story of a family where the father is murdered, and then they move to this old house that was the summer house that his father used to stay at, if I remember correctly. And there's so much mystery around this house and all these different kind of magical keys that these kids find that does some pretty horrific but amazing things. Really, really dark. Love the artwork, and I can't wait to read the next one. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Next up is another Christmas read, and that was The Christmas Wishlist by Heidi Swain. This apparently is book number 7 in a series that I don't remember the name of. Doesn't really say, but you can read it as a standalone, and it is the story about Heidi who loses her job because they have to let go of a lot of people, and her boyfriend wants her to move to Abu Dhabi, I think it is, and she says yes, but is not quite sure if that's the right decision. So an old friend of hers, an old woman called Dolly, she asks her to come and live with her before the Christmas and help out with all the Christmas decorations and preparations and try to make Heidi get the Christmas spirit back, and maybe she has a bit of an ulterior motive as well in this decision making that Heidi is going through. It was a cute read. I enjoyed it. I wasn't bored, but it was slightly, not just slightly, it was quite predictable as well. You could pretty easily see what was going to happen throughout the story, even though it did have a couple of surprises that I didn't see coming. Enjoyed it, didn't love it, but it was still a nice break. It was a cute and easy, light Christmas read. I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Another Christmas read next, and that is A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. If you've been around here on my channel for a while, you will have seen that I've fallen in love with Matt Haig's writing. He has this way of telling these really magical, wonderful stories that had so much depth to them that you can't help but fall in love. If I'm gonna recommend one book to start with, it's The Humans. It's just brilliant, and you can thank me later. But this one is the story about a boy called Christmas. You are about to read the true story of Father Christmas. If you believe that some things are impossible, you should put this book down right away, because this book is full of impossible things. Are you still reading? Good. Then let us begin. I think this book is best going into blindly. Just know that it's magical, it's wonderful. It has some really dark elements to it when it comes to mental health and being abandoned and trying to find out where in the world it is that you fit in or where you want to be. And I just thought that this was such a truly amazing story that, again, as I said, what Matt Haig does so brilliantly is he adds so much depth to his stories, even though they seem very simple going into them. Highly recommend. I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book I read in the month of December was one that I read for Readsy. I do reviews on Readsy Discovery, so they will, or I can choose through a wide range of books in different genres and pick the books that I like and review them. I get them for free, and then I do a review on their site, and I also post a review on my blog and here for you as well. So I found this book. It's called Dreadmyre, the Emberwall Book 1 by J.A. Raikes. And it has this steampunk vibe to it, which I haven't really read much of before, so that's why I chose this one, because it was quite different from what I usually read, but then again it does have a lot of the science. I just activated my Siri. That's interesting. But even though it is a steampunk, science punk novel, it does have a lot of these fantasy elements to it. It is the story of Finn Riley, who takes a week off of his work to go on a hike and just kind of have some downtime, think a little bit, be on his own, and then he stumbles upon this cave that he ends up hiding in from a wild animal. And then in this cave there's a contraption that definitely looks like it is from another world, and it is. And then he plummets into this whole other world where he has to find out what the hell is going on, at the same time as he's fighting against some demonical creature that is threatening this world. The one thing that really surprised me about this book that I wasn't expecting going into it, it was just how funny it is. The dialogues and the thought patterns that are going around in Finn Riley's head. It was just phenomenal. I really loved it. Had me giggling out loud while reading it on the bus. And it was just a really fast-paced, interesting, and action-packed ride. I did feel like I wouldn't say I got confused, but at times there was just so much going on at the same time where I had to kind of concentrate a little bit extra to find out what exactly was going on, but I really truly enjoyed it, and I will definitely continue on with this series. I do have a more in-depth review of this on my blog. I will link that down below so you can go check that out if you want to. I will also add links to all of the books that I've talked about in the thingamajiggy down below, so you can go and learn more about them or get your own copy if you'd like to. So there you have it. Those are the books that I read in the month of December. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these or if you have any thoughts. As always, I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video soon. Bye!